The relationship between the Sami and their fellow Swedes is complex, a product of the centuries-old power imbalance between Sweden's government and its Sami minority who mostly lived north of the Arctic Circle. The family of John Jussi, a Sami writer and cultural historian based in Jokkmokk, arrived in Laponia in the 1920s. When his grandfather, Per Mikkelsen Jussi, and his family were forcibly removed by the government of Norway from the coastal mountains in Skibotn. They were sent south to Sweden. The arrival caused problems. Even in such a vast region, the newcomers naturally impinged on herders who'd been established there for many generations. And so John, like most modern Sami, doesn't earn his primary living from reindeer herding. The animals and Laponia itself play a pivotal role in his life. We Sami live a double existence, Jussi says. We speak Swedish, look Swedish, and most of us live in Swedish town, but we act Sami because that's who we are. Chalk it up to genetics. Whether it's genetics or upbringing, a large number of Sami in northern Sweden spend their summers in Laponia, living in cabins and tending to a few reindeer, fishing and hunting moose. Something other Swedes are not permitted to do in the park. Sami traditions were suppressed by the Swedish government and society for centuries, Jussi says. Those traditions re-emerged as the Sami, who experienced a political awakening in the 1970s, demanded and won respect for their culture on the national and international stage. Whenever we stop to rest or graze on berries, Christian breaks out a plasticized map of the park. It's ridiculously easy to get lost in Laponia if you don't pay attention, he says. Hell, it's easy to get lost even if you do pay attention. As he and Karen study the map, I scan the valley and adjacent slopes and birch stands with binoculars, searching for any movement or dark object in hopes that it might turn out to be a reindeer, brown bear, wolverine, lynx, or moose. Christian, Karen, and I are the only humans in the park, all think we are, until I catch sight of two distant backpackers disrobing next to an explosively rushing creek, preparing to wade across. A while later, we greet them as backcountry travelers do, warmly and with a certain ritualized generosity. And they seem happy to postpone their mid-morning dip in frigid water. They are visiting from Germany. One of them, a man of 30, sporting a mane of curly blonde hair and a slightly sheepish smile, says they are planning to walk another 8 or 9 days after crossing the Rapa a few miles upstream. Trouble is, we are already running short of food, he says. Total miscalculation, as his friend, a tall, gaudy fellow with his black hair pulled back in a slick ponytail in the style of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, the Swedish soccer star, We have only been on the trail a few days. Are there any emergency phones in there? He asks, taking in 1,000 square miles of trackless wilderness with a careless sweep of his arm. Just one, Christian says. The travelers blanch, then watch with concern as he notes its distant location on their map, days away from their intended route. One in the park, you're pretty much on your own. We give them a loaf of bread and some granola and wish them well. Hours later, I spot them from a plateau overlooking the valley. They are miles away, two tiny figures fording the Rapa River in their underwear. Clearly, they are headed off the grid into the Pleistocene. There's a small stream a few feet from where I'm standing, a rivulet of pristine meltwater racing down to join the Rapa. I push my cupped hands into the water, raise them, and drink. Those Germans are going to get mighty hungry wandering around Laponia, but they will never in their lives drink better water. Photographers Erland and Ursula Harburg work to capture the Nordic landscape and wildlife. Both have won awards in international photography competitions. What's it like to work together as a husband and wife team? It's like a dream. We continually support and motivate each other. While working, we enjoy one another's company, and we can be in the field as long as we want, because we aren't leaving our family home alone. Northern Treasure, set aside in 1996, the Laponian area where the heritage site is one of the largest wilderness areas in Europe, embracing 4 national parks and 2 nature reserves. The site is jointly managed by Sweden and its native Sami people. Here's of a nomadic reindeer hunting tradition millennia old. Drama of an autumn storm sweeps into the Rapa Valley, spotlighting Mount Namat. Like much of Laponia's landscape, the peak has been sculpted by glaciers.